My name's Adrian. I'm the head of data science at Parallel Studios. I lead the development for this Colony project. You might know Parallel as from the trading card game that's currently in closed beta, or from some of the cards that you might have seen floating around Web3 for the past couple of years. But we also have these assets called avatars, which should come up any second now. And these avatars, you can kind of do anything that you want, or anything that a 721 can do, these can do. You can set it as your parallel profile picture in the game, and it'll give you some bonuses. You can set it on socials. But we really liked them and thought, okay, what if we gave them like a space of their own? What if we gave them the ability to kind of observe, to make decisions, have a brain, and kind of have their own lives? And so we did that in a little sandbox that we call Colony. And so Colony is the kind of side project for Parallel that has gotten cooler and cooler as time has gone on. And in it, it was largely inspired by the Google Stanford generative agents paper and a little bit the Voyager paper. Our kind of take on this is allowing 14 people to drop their avatars into this kind of sandbox, this mining colony simulation. In there, the agents can do a whole bunch of different things autonomously. They can, mine, they can get resources, they can refine the resources, they can trade, they can craft, create, sell, buy, a lot of different activities, like base activities that they have at their disposal. And it's all towards some goal. So there's a bunch of different goals, and they kind of rotate in and out. Right now, the main goal is for your colonist, your mining colonist, to get elected the leader. So every single agent is asked who they think is the most likable leader at the end of a cycle, and then whoever gets the most votes wins a round. And the way that we do that is by having sort of two main groups of agents. The first ones are the avatars themselves, which we sort of stick a few sub-agents together to create this single experience for the user. They have an ERC6551 wallet that they are able to access all of their items from. So they can have ERC20 tokens there that they're able to trade and use. They can also have ERC 1155 items that come from the game or can be brought from outside of the game into this game in some cases. And that kind of acts as like the value system for these agents. We then allow them to have observations. So they move around this world, and they're constantly collecting observations. Most of them are also, like the observations themselves are being generated by LLMs and stuck into the memories of these agents. So as they move around and form all these memories and talk to people and talk to you to form all these memories, it then gets turned into information that they can use to make decisions, whether that's do an action, create a goal, have a conversation, or spend money. So that's agent number one. And then there's a whole kind of set of agents that broadly we refer to as the dungeon master, like a la Dungeons and Dragons, which acts as kind of like the mediator agent in this world. And the way that it goes, the flow, is let's say Agent 1 has some goal that they want to achieve. Agent 1 says, okay, in order to achieve that goal, I'd really love to do this action. This action hasn't been specified by us. Say they want to go surfing, whatever. The action then goes over to the dungeon master. And the dungeon master is the one that says, okay, given all of the contextual information that I have, so given the historic actions, given the lore of the parallel universe, given the kind of rule sets that we've developed into it, is this a reasonable action, or is it just going to break the game? Once they say either no or yes, if they say yes, then perfect. It goes ahead and specifies the action. It says, okay, in order to do surfing, you are going to need a surfboard. In order to get a surfboard, you're going to need to, you know, get a bunch of wood and turn it into a surfboard, or you can go buy it from the general store. And also any of the items associated with it. And then from there, it goes over to a coder agent, because we don't code up every single action. We can't possibly know all the different actions that they're going to create. It goes over to a coder agent that says, okay, given the specifications for this action from the dungeon master, write some JavaScript that the agents can actually execute so that they can do the activity. So like they'll write .go surfing or whatever. And then once the agent fulfills all of the requirements, then they'll go surfing. And yeah, they're constantly building on this repository of tools and JavaScript code and actions to create, you know, a more interesting, more generative world for these agents. So let's try it out. So this is the world selection screen, where you can see a whole lot of test colonies have happened in the last little while. We're going to join a game that is currently running with some of the other developers in it. So normally you'd have to go in and sign the transaction. I've already signed the transaction. You can type in your email here and then save the profile information. So this is where it gets kind of interesting. This is where you define your agent. You give them a little bit of a background so that it flavors your experience with them over the next couple. These games run for days, so the next couple of days. We'd usually have like a hard-coded selection, but just for the purposes of the demo, we will be a little silly and say that in this colony, this mining colony, our agent just wants to be a comedian. And so now it's going and creating our agent. It's checking to see that the avatar that I have has a 6551 associated with it, make sure that the permissions are good. And if there isn't one, then it'll give me one. And then it starts loading up my agent with a bunch of historical information for the memories. So the lore. Oh my goodness, of course. Oh, I've lost internet connection. Neck gear? Yeah.
Sorry.
It's all good. Oh. Up top? Oh, perfect.
Zoom in.
Zoom in? Oh, sure. Sorry, just bear with us for a second.
Still no?
No, it seems like no. I can tether one sec.
Tether you. This always happens on demos.
I know. It'll be fine. I think I can just tether from here.
You see,
Oh no, I got
you
it.
tether.
Okay, here we go. I think we're back. Okay, there we go. Oops, sorry. Okay, so now we've launched into the colony, and so you can see what it looks like. There's some sleep pods over here. There's some workout areas over here. Some plots of land that you can purchase. We've got a mining equipment store, an area where you can research new equipment and create your own. And then we have kind of the mining circuit over here, where they can go drill for minerals, refine the minerals into whatever they'd like to, and then deposit it for money or ERC20 tokens, or turn it into something totally different. So now we've got my agent Zarina, and she has just finished her orientation, and she's now preparing for mining expedition. So what she's done is, based on the information that we've given her, she's gone and created some goals for her to do. So she wants to gather rare minerals, craft items from those minerals, gain influence in the colony, because she is going to be up for election, and then prepare for the leadership election. So what happens is they start with fairly high-level goals, and then it breaks it down further and further into more manageable pieces that eventually is fed over to the Dungeon Master as an action that it can handle. So we do end up with pretty interesting action trees that put together accomplish fairly complicated actions for some more basic LLMs. So you can see that she's gone and she started to extract minerals. Those minerals are then put in her inventory, although I think she hasn't quite finished extracting minerals yet. But she's going to use her mining equipment. And so this is a asset that has been generated by the Dungeon Master. You can see that it's generated, it says it's got a value of 15. They don't have any modifiers. Modifiers are something that, it's like a passive ability, and it makes it so that other activities are a little bit easier. But you can also see that it's generated some art for it. So we've got our own fine-tuned version of Stable Diffusion that the Dungeon Master says, okay, I've created this item. It's going to be, in this case, mining equipment, or it could be a surfboard if it's allowed. And it'll create an Augencore, which is the faction in parallel, an Augencore flavored surfboard. So you can go ahead and let's see what she's up to. What's been up? So you can talk to your agent, and you can try to get them to do stuff. She says, I'm currently at the refinery trying to earn some money by refining raw minerals. Great. What are we doing later? I'm currently focused on refining raw minerals at the refinery to earn money. My current... Okay, so she's really into her minerals. Okay. That's cool. How about we play some darts? Could be fun. She's probably going to tell me she doesn't want to play darts. I appreciate the suggestion, but I'm currently focused on refining raw minerals. Okay, so this one is that she's very clearly focused on refining the minerals. That's fine. We'll let her do her thing. But we can check in with some of the other agents on here. You can click over and see what they're doing. So, Trick. Let's see what he's been up to. Oh, he's examining the bulletin board. Oh, we had a little chat. Oh, dialogue hasn't been created just yet. But we can see that he's done a whole bunch of other stuff. So he's acquired some mining equipment. He's gotten a fire extinguisher. He's probably used the fire extinguisher at some point. He's gotten some food. He's ate the food. And you can see this little view I mean, you might not be able to see it. It's a little tough to see. But there's a little button that says view transaction here, which will take you over to the actual transaction of the underlying items in their wallets. So this is them purchasing food, so they should have lost some ERC 20s, and they should have gained some ERC 1155s. And I think that's exactly what happened. You can also check in and see, there's an ability for them to ask you questions. Right now, let's see if Zarina wants to ask us anything. Oh yeah, she does. How can I infuse comedy into mining process? Oh God. Create laughter or joy while still effectively completing my tasks in the colony. I think we screwed up the initial prompts here. Okay. And then there's another section called votes. So this is where they actually vote on each other to say who they think is going to be the best leader, probably mining based. So this goes on for quite a while. You can talk to them. You can eventually, I could get Zarina to hopefully do something that I think would be interesting for her sake and for my sake as a viewer. But oh, actually, you can see right now these two are talking to each other. Oh, it'll take a little while to generate the dialogue there. But yeah, so they'll talk to each other. They'll talk to you. They will eventually come out to solve or work together to solve interesting issues, elect leaders, and hopefully bring the colony prosperity. So this is a 2D version. This is kind of a sandbox. The game engine is kind of front-end agnostic. So we've got another team that's working on the 3D version, and I think if you've been to some of the conferences, the crypto conferences in the last little while, you might have seen Sasha show some of them, which are our CEO, which are pretty cool and interesting. So yeah, we're excited to move on from this kind of like development sandbox game into something that's a little bit more immersive, where you can have a tighter connection with your NPC, with your AI.